Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Goddess Complex podcast. If you're old here, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome home. I'm Ashley Michelle, your host and resident witch, and I am here with Dani, that witch next door. If you are new to this episode, we started a series called Astrology After Dark. And it's quite literally just us pulling up birth charts of celebrities, of people in pop culture, of reality TV stars, all sorts of peeps. We did Britney to kick it off. Today we're doing a synastry chart, which you all absolutely love. I always love to say these episodes are going to be pretty astro heavy. So if you're a newbie, you may want to, even if you're not a newbie, you may want to hop on over on the YouTube. We'll have it down here in the show notes so that you can get the visual of what the hell it is we're talking about, because we're just going to kind of go. But this is a hobby of ours, and so far it's been received so well. I know that we both have been getting DMs on charts that y'all want to see us do. Keep them coming. I have a list going. So without further ado, hi, Dani. How are you, darling?
I'm so fucking excited for today. This is a good one. We're like getting after it.
We are getting after it. And I love it too because it keeps us sharp as well.
It
You know what I
does.
mean?
Yes.
Which is
It's
good.
like you're practicing your astrology and getting to gossip a little bit.
100%. It's killing two birds with one stone. And you know what they
No.
say about astrology? We're forever students. You know what I mean? And it's true.
Always. Yes.
It's
And
true.
just like you mentioned on the first episode of this, and I've actually had a couple of my own people in my community and students reach out and agree with you. These episodes are actually, you guys, a very good learning opportunity if you are learning astrology.
Yeah.
This is a great way to get out of the textbook and actually
Mm-hmm.
using the information that you're studying. It's really helpful.
100%. 100%. I totally agree. Um, So, without further ado, let's talk about it. So, we are doing some controversial people. Okay, so let's start there. And I am going to start with I love these people. And I know a lot of people, feel however they feel. And I'll tell you why I love these people. Well, I love these people, but I understand why people have a problem with them. Okay, that's what I'll say. I get where your problems lie, but it doesn't mean that these people are not amazing business people. And as entrepreneurs and business owners, we are doing ourselves a disservice if we are not studying people who have succeeded as entrepreneurs and business owners. So today we are looking at Kim and Kourtney Kardashian.
Yes. This is so good.
Mm-hmm. So we are doing something that is called a synastry chart. And Dani, if you want to, do you want to explain to the people what a synastry chart is?
Yes, I love synastry charts. So long ago, we used to call these compatibility charts. That was kind of a misleading term because it implies that, the charts determine all, when of course we all play in the chart. Essentially what a synastry chart is it's the layering of two charts, two people, two birth charts. You want to keep in mind that there are two different ways to look at synastry charts. You can look at the role of one person through someone's life, and then you can flip that vice versa. So for example, right now on the screen, we're showing you Kourtney's role in Kim's life because Kim is the base chart. This is based on her houses, based on her rising sign, and where Kourtney's placements fall within that. Synastry essentially just says the energy and interaction between these two people, and we interpret it.
Exactly. And so I know it might look a little confusing to you all. This outside, the white ring, the outside ring is Kim Kardashian's birth chart. Kourtney's is this pinkish, orangish tone on the inside. So just what Dani said, we are looking at how Kourtney plays a role in Kim's life because Kim is the base chart. That is to say, I input Kim's information first.
Exactly.
And then I put in Kourtney's information.
Yes. This is really fun to do with people specifically like Kim and Kourtney because I was telling Ashley before the show, I had no idea they were this close in age.
Yeah.
For some reason, no, that's not true. Not for some reason. In my opinion, Kourtney has always carried herself really strongly in that big sister, I'm the eldest role.
I would
To a
agree.
point where I really thought that Kourtney was like kind of significantly older than all of her siblings.
By
And
at
I
least
had,
like 5 years or
yes.
something.
And
Yeah.
we're talking April 1979 to October 1980. They're like 18 months apart. They're
Mm-hmm.
this is nothing. And that right off the bat is so interesting to me. But the reason I like looking at charts so close in time is because you're going to get a lot of these overlapping similar placements in the
I
outer
noticed that.
planets, but you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get a lot of differentiation in those inner planets where the person where we see the personality come through, and that's exactly what we see here in both of them.
Exactly. And to highlight why we chose to do them, specifically because if you follow pop culture at all, you know, Kim and Kourtney have been going through their mess, honey.
Yeah,
They've
they're in a
been
little
back and
feud right
forth.
now.
Oh my God.
How
And they've been
long
back
has
and
it been
forth
going on? Is it just this season? Years.
years.
Okay,
It
okay.
has been going on for
Let
years
me
for different
tell you
things,
guys.
though.
So I used to watch the Kardashians, like
Mm-hmm.
watch it every episode. And I fell off around the same time I stopped watching Jersey Shore. I used to watch the Kardashians and Jersey Shore all at the
I
same
love Jersey Shore.
time. I keep up on little tabs on celebrity gossip articles
Mm-hmm.
and mainly their Instagrams. I'm going to be very honest. The only reason I like came very hard back into their world is because the young millennial girl in me who's a huge Blink 182 fan and has always been in love with Travis Barker, has been living vicariously through this Kourtney Travis love story. And I don't know where everybody else lies, but I ship the fuck out of them because I love them. I'm obsessed with them and I don't even know why. But I'm excited to talk about this with you, Ash, specifically because I only watch them from their social and you watch the show and more
Yeah.
of like the inner workings. And I think that we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna both bring like a cool different perspective to it.
Well, did you hear the tea on how Travis Barker wanted Kim?
No, I did not
Girl,
hear
okay,
this.
so let's start from the beginning. So Kourtney and Kim have always had this weird like sibling rivalry, we'll
Absolutely.
say.
That I'll agree with. Yeah.
Yes, they've always had that. This most recent feud that we see that's going on in the show, if you ask me, it's stupidity. It's Kourtney's wedding and Kim doing this show with the people, Dolce and Gabbana, I'm pretty sure is them, and doing a show way too soon after Kourtney's wedding and Kourtney feeling slighted. But in my opinion, what the root of the problem was that Kourtney was saying that she felt like Kim always has to have everything. And at first, I thought Kourtney was being a little melodramatic, but now seeing how like Skims is now the official underwear for the basketball company, and then the nipple bra, Kim just sold out of a fucking nipple bra. Like what a silly ass concept. And she does have her hands in a lot, but at the same time, I mean, she's hustling. Like you gotta respect the game. So I kind of
True.
go, you know
True.
what I mean? Like she's
But
getting
I
her
also
bag.
think I can't remember where I saw this. It wasn't that long ago. Somewhere online, I saw someone post their opinion and I agreed with them. I feel like part of the reason Kim's had the most success is because Chris also prioritizes Kim the most out of
Yes.
all the siblings.
Yeah.
100 fucking percent.
Yeah.
I think Kylie's kind of her second favorite, but
Mm-hmm.
I do think that she gives, and as their manager, I think that influences a little bit each of their success. So I do think that part of the reason Kim has it all is, yeah, I think she works her ass off in the way that she does. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that mommy pays way more attention to her and gives her a lot more.
I would totally agree. But I mean, if we're going to talk about that, then we got to go all the way back. Kim knew from jump that she wanted to be famous. And I think that's why
That's
mom
true.
prioritized her.
That's
She
true.
worked for Paris Hilton, right? And
Yeah.
then she was always up. Kim would call the tabloids to tell them
Yes, I
where
just
she was
learned about
at.
that.
She
Yes,
would
yes.
call them, which was insane. Kim was always hungry,
Yeah,
thirsty
she
for it.
was. Yeah.
And then as far as the sex tape goes, we could talk all day about how she exploited Ray J for that, but that's a whole nother
That's a whole
podcast
nother
episode.
Astrology After Dark. Yeah.
That is. But let's get into this chart. Let's
Okay,
get into this
yes.
chart. Where do you want to start, Dani? You love synastry. So where do you want to start?
I love synastry. First of all, the first place that I went was when I just looked at Kim straight off the bat. Her moon is conjunct her IC exactly. And in Pisces at 28 fucking degrees, this is a big fucking deal. Kim, and especially kind of layering that with what you just said about Kim, everyone can say what they want to say about Kim Kardashian, but there is a level of knowing that she definitely has if she has a Pisces.
Can you just explain to the people the IC placement? Because
yes,
we don't talk about that a lot in astrology.
Yes, absolutely. I love the IC. I also have a giant fat cluster of planets at my IC, so I've studied it for a long time since I learned my birth chart. The IC, if you're looking at the real circle chart, it is the lowest point of the chart. This is important because the opposite of the IC is the MC, which is the highest point of the chart. So the lowest point represents our subconscious, where we come from, and the deepest roots of ourselves. Because of these roots, we're talking multi-generational where we come from, not just in this life where we come from, but far beyond that, ancestral lineage type shit that you had no control over, yet it contributed to how you came to be who you are today. That's what the IC is. It's a very deep, dark place, not in a dark in a bad way, dark in a private way. This is a very sacred place. It's why we associate keeping like our home and family life very private. We see that with the IC, whereas the MC, the opposite, or the midheaven, this is our public eye, our reputation, how everyone fucking sees us. And it's kind of our bird's eye view as well. Both of these points play very, very important roles in the chart. But when I say that a Pisces moon, Pisces being so associated with deep spiritual occultic knowledge of our universe, in the moon sign, which means you just feel that, you have that sentience about you. 28 degrees, this is a very developed placement. She probably, I don't know how much she knows on it or strengthens it or acts on it, but Kim probably has some sort of clear cognizance about her.
Probably.
Many Pisces moons has this clear cognizance, this knowing, this inner knowing of things.
And Dani is calling it a developed placement because it's at 28 degrees. And you may or may not know, but there's 30 degrees per sign. So we're almost out of Pisces, but right there. So that's why we're calling it developed. Now, what do you think about the moon and the IC being really like conjunct Kourtney's Venus and her Mercury placement?
So,
like the way we communicate and the way we feel safe and love and pleasure, and this moon sign here, this is an interesting look.
And
to say the least.
That Mercury that's an out of sign conjunction, because Mercury for Kourtney is at 0 degrees in Aries. And that, my friends, just because it's in Aries
doesn't mean
it's only 2 degrees away from the IC and from Kim's moon. So here's how I see this. Number one, these two on fundamental layers understand each other. We are talking deep fucking soul contract here. Deep standing soul contract here. I think the way I read that in the first place was, I think that sometimes I could see Kim feeling almost like barged in on by Kourtney. If this is a really, really private place, I think that even without having to share things, Kourtney probably knows things about how Kim is feeling and what she's going through. And that can feel kind of like unwelcome, or like somebody, I can't think of the fucking word right now, when someone's imposing on you, or if
I mean, I feel like that is the word though, right? And imposing on, right? Infringed upon,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Infringed upon a little bit. Now, do you say that because this is such a private, sacred space placement here, and we've got Mercury, you know, the planet of mind and mouth, and
in
we've got
Aries.
Venus. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. And
that's interesting.
I think that the Venus placement of Kourtney's in Pisces, I think that that conjunction with Kim's moon can give them this camaraderie. Absolutely. And
I
I
think so too, because
do.
they do seem to find their way back to each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
even when like it looks really bleak, because you know, Kourtney can be a little melodramatic, like, I'm
Oh
done,
yeah.
I'm all set, F you all. And
Oh
then like
yeah. She's been
they're like
saying
back
that for
together
fucking 10 goddamn
forever.
years.
She's done
Yes.
filming, she's not doing the show, she's done with
Yes.
all of it.
I'm
I
done
hate
with
you,
you guys. I'm
sister.
over you guys.
Yes,
Yes. She's
yes.
always been.
Yeah.
Chloe does her own version of that
Right.
too. But they do
Mm-hmm.
this and I will hand that to Kim. I will hand that to Kim, that she doesn't just, fine, I'm done with all of you. I'm out of the
Right.
Kardashian name. I'm out of the
Right.
Kardashian family. Every time shit goes wrong. That's a very Aries Mercury. I'm done. Goodbye.
Right.
Done with this
Yes.
conversation.
That's it.
Over.
Cut
Impulsive.
off.
Yes, exactly.
Over it.
And it's like the people that get on Facebook. Goodbye everybody, I'm deleting my
Uh-huh.
Facebook after today. And everyone's like, no
Literally.
the fuck you are not. We all
Like,
know you're gonna be back
relax.
in 2 goddamn weeks. Yes,
Seriously.
we know you can't get enough of this.
Exactly.
So I think that sometimes Kim and Kourtney share probably a pretty psychic connection with each other.
Gotta be.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, because this is Kim's IC, if sometimes she does feel infringed upon by Kourtney, if sometimes there is this extra need to guard herself. One of
Or
the
this extra need to like do more or be better, because that's what
oh
I'm
yeah.
thinking about when I think about watching
Yeah.
them for all the years that I've watched them. And I'm not lying to you guys, I've watched like every episode of the Kardashians. Okay, I'm a stand, it is what it is, come for me, at me if you must. And you know, so watching their relationship and their dynamic, and also Kourtney being the older sister and me being an older sibling too, I know how like sometimes some of the younger siblings feel like, well, I want to be like more important or as important. And so maybe that's kind of what we're seeing with this Kim Kourtney dynamic. Everybody's putting all the attention on Kim and why she doesn't get it, but maybe it's Kim the one who is what's the word I'm looking for? Like overcompensating. Maybe it's
Yes.
Kim that's overcompensating because she feels infringed upon. Because we have to remember, there's a good chunk of their life that was not in the public eye. What was their like younger teenage lives like when they were 13, 14 years old, which is already a hard age, let alone when you have a sister who's a year younger than you know?
Exactly.
So who even knows what
Yes.
sort of stuff they've gone, those core memories that have made them kind of morph into this weird sibling rivalry that we see today when they're in their like 40s, you know?
Yes, and keep in mind, not only is Kourtney an Aries Mercury and an Aries Mars at home, by the way, Mars rules Aries.
Uh-huh.
She's also an Aries Sun, and
Yeah.
Aries is the first to flex that they're
Mm-hmm.
first. I'm the
Yep.
oldest. I did it first.
Yep.
I did it
Yep.
first. I came first.
Yep.
I'm older. I'm
Yep.
older, so I definitely know more. And I would
Exactly.
not be surprised if she is one of those older siblings that is, and I'm an older sibling just like you.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to flex the older sibling out
Yes, 100%.
frequently,
Yeah.
whether we're 10 years older, or in this case, yeah, Kourtney, you are the older sister.
Yeah.
But again, I always thought she was like years older by the way they spoke about it. And then I saw this and I was like, oh my God, you're older
Mm-hmm.
by a year. At this age, you're practically the same age by now.
Right. By now.
That
Right.
yeah, exactly. When you're younger, that can be really, really different. You know, when you're
Mm-hmm.
4 and your sister's 2.5, sure, that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
look really, really different. Or when you're 13 and 15.5. But now that they're in their 40s, yeah, you know, you're basically the same fucking age. But I think she still flexes that card a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised exactly if that puts Kim in this position of needing to prove herself. And I agree with what you said. Kim has always been the one who wanted it second most to her mom, who clearly
Literally.
Chris wanted it. Chris began it.
Chris was ready.
Chris was
her
ready.
little workout DVDs, her little workout VHSs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Chris
Kim
was
has wanted it, or yeah, Chris wanted it from the beginning.
Yeah,
one thing too, I mean, look at that, right? We're looking at a North Node in Leo. Like Kim wanted to be,
oh yeah,
look at me now.
Exactly.
And one thing I find to be interesting was, like, if we want to go to the North Nodes and compare them a little bit, we've got Kourtney's hanging out in Virgo. To me, I would have thought that this would have meant we would have seen a bit more success from Kourtney. And one thing that we see that's really relevant or prevalent in the show is that Kourtney can't really make up her mind with her like business ideas. Like she has Poosh, but it took her forever and a day to get Poosh. And it's making me wonder now, is it like this perfectionist idea, which is why she couldn't get anything off the ground? Like it had to be perfect, It had to be right, it had to be real. Where Kim just kind of she took it by the balls.
And let's look at their rising signs when we talk about that.
Yes.
Kim is a Sag rising. We're all talking to a Sag right now, to Ash, who, again, Sagittarius, we've talked about this before on my show, on That Witch podcast. Sagittarius, if there's anyone who is born to be celebrity, it's Sagittarius energy. And you can see this in a ton of astrological examples.
You can. I've noticed it too.
Because Sag doesn't give a fuck. They will take risks where others won't. They'll put themselves out there where others won't. They'll trust in the journey. Yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I don't give a fuck. Right. And Pisces rising, which is what Kourtney is.
Pause.
What?
Fuck. My disc is full on my thing, but we still have the Zoom, right?
Yeah.
He can still edit the Zoom, can't he?
Yeah.
Okay. We got to 21 minutes. I'm still going to send that over. We're just going to continue.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll tap it for him. Okay. Now, Kourtney is a Pisces rising. And Pisces rising is going to have identity issues, number one.
Right.
They're right off the bat, they're going to come here and need to figure out who they are. And Sagittarius feels way more natural in this is who I am from the get-go. And
it's interesting just to note out, don't forget, my loves that are listening, these two share a planet, a traditional ruler in Jupiter, but Jupiter looks very different with both of these guys. So they both are Jupiter ruled, boose of them, but it looks totally different, which is really fascinating.
And you know what's funny? I call those planetary siblings, and it's fun because we're looking at siblings. I use that analogy for a reason. I use it with Gemini and Virgo a lot. You're sharing the same planetary parent. So, of course, you're going to see these similarities and these things that connect you. But the way you both execute it are completely fucking different.
Exactly. And that's it. Different. And that's what we see. The way they both execute is so different. Like Kim is such a, opportunity, mine. Opportunity, mine. And I think that infuriates Kourtney. But at the same, like
Kourtney looks for some more permission. I think she needs more permission.
Yeah, for sure. It's really, really fascinating.
Now, what did you think about, now here's what I will also throw in there. Kim still does have a Libra sun. And I think we see this in her love life.
100%.
And I do think, I need you to tell me more about this on the show now, but I do think there's this, I need to know more about this. Okay, so I ship the
about the relationships, because I could talk to you all day.
I need to know about this Travis, Kim, and Kourtney situation, because Travis
wrote a book.
Kourtney are disgustingly in love, and the Pisces moon that I am, I love shit like that.
Okay, so like, where do I even begin? So they are like disgustingly in love, but I also almost feel like it's kind of overcompensating, like we were just fucking talking about. Travis Barker wrote in his book how he saw Kim. Now, guys, don't quote me. I'm gonna give you the gist.
When? How long ago?
Few years back, before him and Kourtney were a thing.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Before him and Kourtney were a thing,
Okay.
he wrote in his book on how he saw Kim and she was like the most beautiful woman he ever saw. Or like he said like words along those lines that he was like, I was trying to hit it, essentially. They still say to this day that nothing has ever happened between either of them. And Kim hasn't said this, but it's kind of assumed that Kim was only hanging out with Travis to kind of climb up the social ladder. Like it wasn't anything like that. And they also like weren't like hanging out. They also weren't like hanging out in like a romantic sense. Kim was just around because we all know Kim was thirsty. So, and that it is what it is, you know, she was thirsty for fame. So
when
Kim
were
was
they hanging out? Long time ago?
a while back.
Okay,
This was
okay.
like a while back, way before the Kardashians are like
Kanye,
American
way before. That's
Oh
what I
yeah,
figured. Okay.
way
That's all I
before
need to
Kanye.
know. Okay,
If I'm not mistaken, this might even be before her first husband, the football player, the one that she got annulled or whatever.
Yes.
Like even before him.
Okay.
So Travis Barker wrote that in his book, and so ever since he wrote that, there's been a lot of speculation on like what the fuck. It's kind of weird, and like honestly, it is a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like Kim is a badass bitch. Kourtney is too. They could all get it. They're hot. I think they're beautiful women.
Absolutely.
You know, but I do think it is a little weird if you're like writing in your like memoir how like you wanted to, you know, get after it with Kim and then you end up marrying Kourtney. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, have you never imagined that like Kourtney is Kim when you guys are like getting after it? Like in like your deepest, darkest secrets, you Scorpio. Because don't forget, Travis Barker's a Scorpio.
That's true. And here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna put this out there, everybody, in a safe way.
Okay.
Because I am a Scorpio and I need to protect my own a little bit here.
Yeah. So, and my honey's a Scorpio too, so I'm not coming for the Scorpios. I'm just saying Scorpios, man. They get deep.
Here's where I believe what they have is real. There is a shared kink there.
Yeah.
And if you are at all part of the kink community, and we're talking not I do some kinky stuff when I have sex. I'm talking part of the kink community.
Yeah, yeah.
There is, especially because of how underground it has to be, because it's not widely accepted at all. There is a fucking bond, like a bond that forms. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had eyes for Kim.
Yeah.
And she didn't have that, wasn't down.
Right.
And he awoke that in Kourtney, and
he awoke something in her. He awoke something in her.
Here's all I'll say. There is a lot I identify with there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that can be awoken in some of us. And a lifelong blood sex bond can be fucking born. And that's the first time why I was like, when I started seeing some of the things I started seeing, I was like, all right. I think that this goes way, way, way deeper than just love and just sex. We're talking eighth house shit. We're talking
eighth house shit. I definitely think it's real. I definitely think what they have is real. I just think it's interesting that he said what he said when he said it about Kim.
Absolutely.
But it is real.
It's very, very fascinating. But what I wanted to say about Kim being a Libra, if Kim is a Libra sun, and let me see, does she have any kind of aspects going on with her Libra sun at all? Oh yeah, it's opposite. Now, not a lot of people follow the asteroids, but I am a person that follows the asteroids. I don't know if it's on there or not, but Ash, her sun is opposite her Pallas Athena in her chart, which is
that's so fucking weird that you said that, because I almost put Pallas on here and changed my mind. I'm gonna put it on right now.
I have a real deep appreciation. I love
and look at that
asteroids.
And look at that. It's right next to her sun.
Exactly. So I think they trigger each other a little bit.
That's why we're doing this whole episode. They 100% trigger each other.
And I think that Kim is here. When you have a Libra sun, there is some work to be done in the relationship department. Not always romantic, but we're going to see it play out in the romantic relationships. And there is a lot, if it's one thing I'll hand Kim Kardashian, it's that she is having to heal from a genuinely what sounds like it was probably an abusive relationship, and she's having to heal from it in the public eye. And and I do think that there is a level of jealousy there.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's jealousy there, and that might be why she's drowning herself in her work so much, because that's all she really has.
With Scott, even when Kourtney was with Scott, when Scott and everyone had different feelings about Scott Disick.
Fucking Scott Disick, the Lord, darling, the Lord. Yeah.
Oh my God, Scott. Those were my Kardashian days, which is like a whole different generation, because that was pre-Kendall, Kylie. Like,
yes,
they were there,
was.
but none of us gave a real fuck about them.
Right.
Yes. Such
oh my God.
different days. And I do think that Kourtney's had quote unquote better luck as far as celebrities can go, better luck in the relationship department. And I think that deep down, as a Libra sun, I think that Kim craves that. And
I would totally agree.
That's why she tried to make Kanye really work.
She really did.
She
really, really did. Now, to go back to Palace a little bit, I want to talk about how you got there, because I know we're jumping around a little bit.
Sorry.
So you said, I think they really,
anyways.
Well, I know you said that they trigger each other, and you got that through the Pallas Athena placement. Let's break that down a little bit for those people that are listening who don't follow Pallas Athena. So from my understanding, our Pallas placement is our deep spiritual placement, our like that's how I learned it. How did you learn it?
Okay, I learned all the goddess asteroids through their mythology.
Okay.
And I went through Goddess Pallas Athena, who is the only goddess, right? Technically feminine, female, not born of the womb. She was born out of her father's head, out of Zeus's head. And this fucking matters because she is a she, but does not have that same connection to womanhood and to womb that she, meaning, and I'm using she as like a general umbrella term here, normally does. So Pallas Athena, there's a story, and I'm gonna fucking slim the hell down out of this, so don't come at me with your details, you know. But Pallas Athena, a lover had scorned her. Something happened where, out of a jealous emotional rage, she killed Medusa.
Okay, it's coming back to me now.
Mounted Medusa's head on her breastplate after that happened to wear it as a reminder to never let her emotions get the better of her ever again. And I've always, and so Pallas Athena is Athena is how you might also refer to her if you've heard that before, Pallas Athena. Athena is super associated with wisdom because she's a warrior goddess.
Right.
Sisters with Aries, I believe. With Mars.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're both warriors, and she's the female warrior and he's the male warrior. So I've always, when I get to it in a reading, I've always told people, this is our emotional intellect. This is our coming together of our right brain and our left brain, our feminine and our masculine, our logic and our emotion. So yes, it's funny that you say what you said, because I agree that is spirit. That is the spiritual, because there is no quote gender and spirit, right? And so that's how I went looking at her Libra sun, and I immediately said, is there an aspect being made? And the first place I look is the opposite. Whenever I go hunting for an aspect, I look around it first, and then I look opposite first, and then I look for other aspects. And boom, of course, right there we see at almost an exact opposition. Oh no, it is an exact. No, sorry, it's too small. Almost an exact opposition. Kim, her son, and her Pallas Athena. And just like Ash pointed out, Kourtney's son is right there on the other side, conjunct that Pallas Athena. So here's what I would say. That Aries fire probably
they're fighting. They're fighting one another,
right? Fuels that. If you're already feeling down, if you're already feeling hurt, Kourtney knows how to fucking really push that and like
Right.
Do you have them
I
flipped? Do you have the chart for them flipped, by the way? Do you have the chart for them flipped, by the way?
no, I only pulled up this one
Okay.
because I had a feeling that we wouldn't have time to do the other way
Oh, that's
around.
totally fine.
Yeah, but I really real quick too, I love to touch on their Liliths because I mean,
Ooh, okay.
speaking
Yeah.
of relationships, look at Kim's Black Moon Lilith in Libra. It's right there next to her fucking Pluto.
And Kourtney's
Mm,
is in Leo,
yeah,
not far from Kim's North Node,
right.
which you
This
brought
is
up the
another
North
sign that they're
Node.
triggering one another. And so
Yes.
Lilith, you know, her
Yeah, I was
Lilith,
gonna say, explain that a little bit.
yeah,
Yes.
her Lilith in Libra, or sorry, Leo. So Kourtney's Lilith in Leo is almost this fear of being seen, right?
Mhm.
So while Kim has this North Node in Leo, like, I want to be on stage, I'm ready to be here, like, show me off. Kourtney has some fear, whether it's subconscious or conscious, about being in the public eye and being seen. I would bet money that this fame shit was probably nothing that Kourtney ever even thought of. She
No.
probably just went with it, to
That's
be
so
honest with
when
you.
you brought up that Kim started it, when we were talking about that at the very beginning, and how
Mm-hmm.
Kourtney and Chloe as well, but how Kourtney is definitely one of the I'm done with all of you. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes deep down, I think that Kourtney feels that way in the moment. I
Yeah.
think it definitely comes off as and is melodramatic, but I also
But
think
she
she's
feels that
Aries.
way.
Yes. And so in the moment, she's like, get me out of here. I need to be hidden. I do not want to
Yes.
be seen right now. I
She
didn't
said on
ask for any of this.
she
When
said at
really,
like maybe like 3 episodes back, um they were arguing about some bullshit, and essentially the tone of it was that she hasn't been happier since not talking to her family and all the BS that came with them. That like
interesting.
she always has seemed to be going through a dark night of the soul when it
I
comes
agree.
to all of this fame and what comes with it. And obviously there are perks to it, right? Like, she loves
Mhm.
her house, she loves the decorating, she loves poosh, all that stuff. But this is all stuff that I feel like deep down, if Kourtney were to write a memoir, she would probably title it something like "I didn't ask for this." And
So, you know what's really interesting about you saying
mm,
that? Do you
yeah,
remember on the Britney episode how you said you told everybody fucking pay attention whenever there's something in the first house?
yeah.
So, if you do look at Kourtney's chart, she
Mm-hmm.
has a fat first house stellium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking planets in her first
Now,
house.
did you flip them?
Yeah, I flipped them.
Oh God.
And
Should I just do it, or should we? It's not easy to do it right
I did
now.
it before. No, I did it before the show and I screenshotted it because I was looking on it before I
Okay.
recorded. But this just
We'll
ties in with
we'll
what you're saying. My point
and what we'll
is
do, guys, is
that
we'll put that picture in the show notes for
oh,
you.
perfect.
So
Yes.
we'll put it
Yes,
in the
I
show
love
notes
that.
for you.
For reference, absolutely for reference. My whole point in bringing that up is we talked about this problems with being seen. We've got Black Moon,
Mm-hmm.
Lilith, and Leo.
Right.
I
Right.
never asked for this.
Mm-hmm.
This huge stellium in the first house, which is a lot to do with being seen.
What's in her first house?
It is South Node, Ceres, Venus, Mercury, Vesta, Mars, and Juno. So she has
Jesus.
a ton of her asteroid goddess energy there.
And that's
her
all in
personal
Pisces?
placements. They straddle Pisces and Aries.
Ooh.
Exactly. And guess what else is there? Kim's fucking moon. So just like Kourtney kind of comes barging into the IC for Kim.
Right.
Kim's like, oh, well. You want to talk about being seen and and she brings that all-knowing, all-seeing Pisces moon into the first house. Yes.
Right. That subconscious emotional energy.
She knows how to break Kourtney down. And that
she does
watch this season. I haven't even watched it. I told Ashley a few weeks ago. That's how we came up with the idea for this episode. I was telling Ashley I saw a sneak peek for the Kardashians right before season 1 or episode 1 of this season dropped. And we were talking about it exactly in an entrepreneurial sense. And I brought it up and I said, they dropped this juicy fucking premiere or sneak peek. and all this family drama. And then right after, if you watch all of their stories on Instagram, boom, 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 here's a new line of Skims. Here's
exactly.
shit, blah, 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 right? They always capitalize. So that's why we were talking about it. But why I brought it up was in that sneak peek, Kim said a shitty fucking thing to Kourtney.
You're talking about the kid thing. That's what I was gonna say, right?
Yes, she
That shit,
knows
I
how
saw
to
that
break
episode.
Kourtney down. She will go for the fucking
And that's
throat.
why Kourtney was saying Kim will do anything for the bag. Like Kim doesn't have any lines or boundaries. And that might come from that North Node in Leo, right? There's no lines or boundaries.
Yes, this is why, yes, Kourtney might separate herself from the family, but I think in her perspective, sometimes she's like, what is family if this is how we fucking treat each other?
That's exactly how I think she feels. That's exactly how I think she feels. And all that Piscean energy too, that like she's sensitive as fuck. She puts on this like cold exterior, but she's actually quite sensitive.
She's probably the most sensitive.
Probably the most sensitive,
maybe next to Rob. I think that secretly Rob is the most sensitive.
Poor Rob.
And that's why he's not around.
Poor Rob. Oh my God.
Could truly handle it.
No.
Exactly. No. But this, as soon as I saw that, that's why I'm saying, drop an image in the show notes of that because it's just interesting. But truly, it connects to everything that we're seeing here.
Yeah, it does.
Both fucking dig into each. They could. This is what I love about synastry, everybody. If you didn't know these people and their name wasn't fucking Kardashian, and we were just looking at these charts, in a lot of ways, you could look at this and go, oh, these are two people that really understand each other. They could lay out each other's strengths and weaknesses, have a really deep bond with each other. But because we have free will and we embody our chart the way that we embody our chart, we're seeing two people use it against each other.
100%. 100%. And it's happening over time. And this is probably, like you said in the top of this with the IC, this deep soul connection. For some odd reason, these two decided when they incarnated in these bodies to be siblings this time around, that they were going to have to try to figure each other out in a way that was uncomfortable, to say the least, for both of them. And their energy feels uncomfortable together, sometimes on screen, just uncomfortable. Tense. Tense is the word.
Yes, tense is the fucking word. Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
It really, really is. I think that, and especially when you say sensitive, it's funny, right after you said that, Kourtney's 29-degree Jupiter in Cancer just like leapt off the screen.
I've been looking at that because I also have Jupiter in Cancer, and I was like, this psychic ass bitch. They have
some spiritual deep placements. Yes, they do. Exactly. But they use it. So first of all, I think they used it to get famous.
Yep.
And then I also think they use it against each other. And
I agree.
When water goes against water like that, water can either be like the most fucking bonding goddamn thing in the world, or this is how we destroy each other. Water can give life, or water can literally
take away. And that's exactly how we should look at it with actual water. Like, think about the element itself, my loves, listening. Like, that's nail on the head. And so it's going to be interesting to see as the Kardashians get older. I have the sneaking suspicion that they'll calm down as they get older. They're into their 40s. They're getting fucking old. I think they're in their late 30s, early 40s right now.
These two are in their 40s, which blows me away knowing that now. Given
they fight like they're teenagers.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let them hit their 50s and they'll simmer down.
If you look at this from a psychological standpoint and the amount of trauma they've all been through, in a lot of ways, when you get to this level of celebritydom, that's trauma. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the Britney episode.
Right.
And you get, depending on the type and the level of severity of the trauma you go through, you will get frozen at a certain maturity level at a certain
Right.
And I do think we see that a lot actually in the Britney thing, and we see that here. And I hadn't really thought about it till you just said that, but how fascinating to double their age right now and think about what they're going to think about when they look back on all of this.
Because you can't, like, the way they move, they don't move like they're women in their 40s. You know,
No.
They don't. Like, they're bickering about Dolce and Gabbana, and then you had it. You got the deal 3 months after my wedding, and that wasn't long enough. It was my time. Like, how long do you want to soak up the wedding? And did that come from a subconscious thing? Maybe you are weirdly insecure that your husband wrote in a whole book how he wanted to fuck your sister, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Exactly.
Ugh.
I think that in a lot of ways, Kim has been the one overcompensating. And I think that with the way that the fame part has played out and the business part, we're starting to see that flip a little bit.
We are
seeing Kourtney getting into this position of overcompensating.
I totally agree with you. Agree with you.
I'm sorry. Skims is doing a lot better, obviously,
than Poosh.
Fucking Poosh thing.
Dude, not just Skims. I mean, Good American is doing better than Poosh. We'd have to pull the numbers, but
Kourtney, I mean, is leaning. She's doing the water thing. She's leaning into the vegan thing.
Yeah.
She's leaning into the holistic thing.
Yeah.
She's trying to maintain the humanity and the ethical, and I
admire. And she's also trying to find herself. Like, we haven't even touched the whole emo thing. Like, you have changed your whole identity. This is so Piscean, it's stupid. You've changed your whole identity for Travis Barker, which, I mean, maybe this was always inside of you, you know, maybe it was. And maybe you felt comfortable enough when you got with him to do it. But if we are talking about how these charts can manifest themselves, it's incredibly Piscean to be a chameleon in that way. And now you're like dressing in like tattered jeans, and every shirt of yours is your husband's shirt. And
Kim did that at first when her and Kanye broke up.
Yes, she did.
We saw Kim fucking. But I think that was a trauma response.
Well, I also think Kim too, with this Libra sun and Black Moon Lilith and Libra, Kim was looking for permission from these men. Kanye used to dress her up like a little doll constantly. Kanye used to always dress her up. So I think more so in Kim's vein, it was her looking for permission. Like, what do you want to do? Like, I believe you. Like, Kanye was the fashionista. Kanye was the one getting the invites to these high level fashion shows, and Kim was honestly going as Kanye's guest.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and we're seeing how their relationships, their romantic relationships, manifest in different ways. Kim always liked fashion, but Kim was always seen as, like, you know, the reality TV star who did the porno. She never got that like elite status, and Kanye gave that to her. So I also think Kim felt a little guilty. Classic Libra vibes, felt a little guilty, which is why she hung on to Kanye for so long, because Kanye was the one that helped her break that stereotype and really help her move into somebody who was a bit more established and accomplished.
She became a wife. She became a mother. She became a businesswoman.
And she became respected. She became respected.
What I mean. Exactly.
Yeah.
She got to move beyond. Yes, I think that Kim, we know that Kim, like you said, the whole sex tape thing was planned.
Right. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, that shit was planned. I'm going to write that down too. There is a YouTube video I watched with Ray J going in on it. I'll link it for you guys. It's honestly kind of disturbing, but we need to understand that there are different levels to this matrix, my friends. And so I'm going to watch it. You guys watch it and you make up your own decisions from there. Okay.
Pause really quick.
Okay.
Hold on. Goddamn flu.
Oh, no worries, babe. No worries.
I held on for so long. Without doing that.
No worries. We're almost done anyways.
Okay.
But
okay, here. Bring us back in.
Okay. But yeah, I think we are honestly just seeing how their son specifically play out inside of their romantic relationships too. And honestly, it really is fascinating. I'll link the Ray J video here down below at the bottom, and you all can watch it and make your own decisions. But I really hope that you all got something out of this. And again, synastry can be a little complicated. So again, I'm using astro-charts.com. That's what you see. That's what I'll probably continue to use, just because I think it's easier on the eye than some of the other chart systems for, yeah, especially for like newbie astrologers. It's free, totally free. You guys can check it out. And also keep your suggestions coming. I don't want to like spoil anything, but we have some stuff coming, so keep them
Good
coming.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Good ones. I'm
For
so
sure.
excited. I hope that you guys did too, because we can have fun with this. We're using celebrities as a lens, but like there's so much you can apply here.
Yeah.
In synastry to the relationships in your life. And I think that like a lot of these things we're talking about utilizing our strengths to harm people in our life, I think there's some food for thought there for sure. And we're gonna definitely see how it plays out for these two as it continues on.
Yeah, we will. Awesome.
There will probably be a part 2 for this because of how much it's
I mean,
developing.
dude, and now that we've done these two, now I really want to do Chris. I'm not gonna lie. She's a Scorpio too.
I want to do Chris. I want to do a Kylie versus Jenner, a Kylie versus Kendall very, very much, because there's a lot to unpack with all of these here. I want to do just Chloe on her own.
I want to do Chloe on her own. Yeah, I want to do Chloe on her own.
Chloe would be like, of fucking course you want to just single me out.
I know, right? Seriously. Of course, that's because we love you, Chloe. That's why. I think everybody can relate. Out of all of the Kardashians, she is the most likable out of all of them.
She's always maintained that level of rawness.
Raw, which is what I love. But you all already know, friends, make sure you share the episode, share it with a friend, share it with a loved one, share it with your mother, share it with somebody, tag us on the gram. Our links to book sessions with us are going to be down below. If you want to book an astro session, or if you want to book a tutoring session, whatever it is, our links will be down below. And as always, slide inside of our DMs. We love reading what you guys think of all this tea. We appreciate it a lot. So yes.
The best. I love this so much with you. This is the best.
They're so fun. They're like decompressing.
I know.
They're so fun. They're so fun. That's how you know you're an astrologer. When like none of this is work. This is just fun. Awesome. All right, my loves, we'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao for now.